RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right, what's up, everybody? Hi, everyone. What you doing? My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. This is unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity. Come on, say it with me. Democracy, humanity. All right. We got to work on that a little more. We meet here every Friday evening. This is our regularly scheduled time. You hear a hairball? Where? Jim, where? You heard me having a hairball? Maybe, that's possible. I am getting over COVID. And before I did that, I cleared my throat. Is that what you're talking about? Or am I being self-conscious? Okay, who cares, right? We meet here every Friday evening at this time, in the vicinity of 8:30, as you can see. Sometimes it's hard for me to get my shit together. And we, then we have a show during the week, at least. I was coughing. You heard that. I was trying to get that I was trying to get it out of my system before the show started, but I thought that you didn't hear me when the open was playing. So I guess I have to figure that out. I thought that maybe I have a setting. I should have muted that. Yeah, I was trying to get it all out before the show went live. But sorry about that. That's disgusting. And yeah, that's why we don't do that. We try not to do that into the microphone. I turned around. I actually did not do it in the mic. But it was still hurt. Oh well, who cares? Whatever. Can't go back now. This is the show. So we meet here every Friday, as long as we can. And if you can become a patron, please do. This is our last show of the year, and I want to thank everybody and those who could join during the live show on Tuesday on my birthday show. That made it all the more special. So thank you, and Mike Malloy and Robin Kincaid for celebrating, putting up with the phone delay and dealing with it. And yeah, it was. I had a good time. So thank you guys. And see, I'm a little verklempt. We might have to. I'm sorry. Just deal with it. I will try not to. I know it's disgusting. I'll try to keep it to a minimum. And if I really have something bad, I'll go around the corner and do it. So let me see what else. Yeah, come on out, hang out. Yes, 7 years later and the orange plague is still with us, Jim on the chat says. It's true. We are still all right, we'll talk about that in a minute. Let me just do for those who are new, who don't know the show. I also want to thank the Mike Malloy, the Truth Seekers, who gave me your attention and your love for the past week while Robin and I filled in for Mike, who's on vacation. So thank you guys for hanging out. And if you found the show through the Mike Malloy show, hey, welcome. Mike Malloy is my hero and a mentor. So let's see. What am I saying? Please become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. That'll help keep the show going and growing. I keep saying that. But you too can become a patron. Like tonight, right before we went on air, we got a new patron. And so I want to say tonight's show is sponsored by Lori Cleathan. Thank you, Lori, for taking the leap, taking a chance on me, on this show. We will keep going as long as you're in our corner, you and your fellow Tarabuster supporters. Yeah. Thank you for doing that. Because I know there's a lot of shows that you can support, and everybody is out looking for your support. And because we all need it. We don't have billionaire benefactors. We only have you. And it matters. That's what I'm trying to say. And Lori, if you want a mug, Lori, you gotta write me and I'll write this to you on the Patreon page, in case you forget, or in case you're not listening right now. But I'll send you a mug. I mean, the whole Patreon page has to be revamped. I need to update. This is my New Year's resolution. I've been saying this. I have a lot of things I need to do. I'm only one person. That's why I ask you to become a patron. So you never know. If we get enough people, we can get some help up in this bitch for this bitch. And if you want a mug, come on over and go to your email and send an email to me at tarabustermedia@gmail.com with your name, address, and tell me you want a mug, and I'll send you a Tarabuster mug. I'm drinking out of a horn mug tonight, but my mug is in the dishwasher. So, all right. Thank you, Lori. So let's give Lori something of what she paid for here, right? And also, another supporter, I have to tell you, just one more, a couple of plugs, that we have he is a sponsor. APS Radio News is a supporter and sponsor, and also hosts Tarabuster on APS Radio News, an independent media outlet that has all different perspectives, not just me. So you can check out the other artists and contributors who create content for APS Radio News. We can't get enough of independent media in this country, and that is true, especially when it's aggregated by somebody with a heart and a soul and a conscience, right? Wouldn't that be wonderful if we all operated from that? All right, guys, we're discussing the madness. Let's get into it. So, yeah, what's the So, all right. There's so many things. For example, I was, what am I going to say? What was I going to call the show tonight? It's the year of the grifter. It definitely is. But it's also, are we getting to the end of I know I've never been there, but the fascination for billionaires? I've always seen the disgust. I've always been disgusted by billionaires. They are a moral failing. The fact that they exist is a moral failing. We don't need them, and they're like cancer. That's how I look at it. A cancer cell in the body politic, sucking up all. I mean, what kind of a what kind of a species would allow this? Think about it. What other form of life is there anything comparable in the animal kingdom where let's say a handful of that entity hogs everything while others go hungry? I don't think that would be allowed. I think they would probably shred them limb from limb, I would imagine, right? If they found that out. And there were certain societies. I've read, my share of anthropology books where things. I'm thinking of one story in particular. Now that I'm thinking, I don't remember where I read it, but where the hell was this written? I'll have to look this up. But it was a story about a small tribe where, of course, everyone went out hunting, and they had to contribute their hunt, whatever they were able to catch or hunt, into the community pot, so to speak. But then they found out that one of their ilk was cheating, and he was keeping more of what he had caught for himself and hoarding it. And when they found this out, they of course shamed him, and they were going to kick him out of the tribe, and that would be death for him. So he reluctantly gave it back, but when I'm trying to remember the whole thing. He made a big show of saying like how hungry he was. Hold on, I'll be right back. And according to the story, I'm just telling a story. This is for those listening on Progressive Voices who just came in. I'm telling a story about this tribe where one selfish, rugged individual broke the rules of the community. They were all supposed to share their I don't know what you call it, kills, I guess, when you're hunting. Share the food for the whole community. And so if you're down one day, someone's not, someone's up, and everyone benefits. But this Trump, one of Trump's ancestors, what the hell? I wish I knew more about. I gotta look this up. It's in my brain. I don't remember where I read this. But I always remember that when they were gonna kick him out, and he begged and pleaded and said he would be a good boy, and he was made to give all of his stolen food back. And when the rest of the community was going and taking their share of the food that he stole, he stood by and cried and made a big show about touching his stomach and saying how hungry he was. So not that they weren't depriving him of food. They were just telling him, we're not going to put up with you being a thief, stealing from the entire community. You could play by our rules, or you can go fucking die in the forest or wherever the hell we live. So I mean, there's something to be said for that, of marching somebody to the border and saying, get the fuck out, right? See ya. Publicly, exile them. See ya. Bye. But where do you go in such a small world now? And especially, why would you go if there are no consequences? And why would you change? That's the other thing. And especially if, let's say, if that scenario took place here in the United States, that selfish piece of dirt would have his own section of cheerleaders, and then everything starts to collapse. That's, I guess, the point, because there are no consequences, it seems, for Republican or conservatism, which is conservatism in a nutshell. Well, it's racism, really, boiled down to it's wrapping their selfishness. Excuse me. It's not, conservatism in itself isn't racism. It's racism is a tactic that they use, but and conservatism is wrapping their selfishness in the veneer of a legitimate ideology. Oh, well, I'm a conservative. Okay, well, maybe there's a reason people, you would say, okay, slow down here a little bit, but there's no point to, conservatism in itself is, we got to evolve. What am I trying to say? I'm just, I'm getting distracted because my friend is fucking texting me about his fucking problems. Like, I know he's not listening to the show, but he's always, oh my God. I have a show, I do a show now. I don't know how many times I fucking tell my friend this, but it's always now he has to have an episode. Okay. I mean, he's not mad at me. He's just complaining about shit and like texting me about it. All right, whatever, right? That's just my little bullshit. But okay, was his name Musk? Exactly, Jim. The guy. I gotta look it up. I know I wrote about this somewhere. I will look it up, and I'm not right now, of course. But and it reminds me of what we're dealing with. And today, because Robin and I we had to pre-record Mike's show today, and we were talking about a couple of the stories I wanted to talk about, but we'll talk about it again. So you can, different perspective. It's one of the things I brought up was the Ammon Bundy asshole who. Remember the Bundy Ranch, who they took over federal land, a bunch of takers, bunch of parasites, privileged parasites. And and I had to tell you, this, that when parasites aren't dealt with, they just get fatter and fatter on your blood. There's nothing to stop them. And that's republicanism. There's no consequences for being a traitor. And they were traitors back then. When Ammon Bundy and the Bundy, Cliven Bundy, and they were a bunch of parasitic traitors. Of course, they were lionized by the right, because anything that undermines the government that the founders fought a revolution to create is put on a pedestal with Republicans, because they are ultimately, the goal is to destroy that government. And if you're going to destroy a democratic government that was founded in the liberal age of enlightenment, of, by, and for the people, where for all of their flaws and their hypocrisies, they pledged their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor to each other. They didn't say, I got mine, sucker. Sucks to be you. I take, but don't ever give. If you ever ask a Republican to give, then they'll start crying and whining about freedom. No one expects, it's like a baby, You don't expect a baby to contribute, right? They might help. I always think about a kid when you're a kid and maybe your mother or father is making Thanksgiving dinner and you're a child and you walk in and you say, I want to help. And what can you do? They can't really help. Okay, stir that pot, stir that icing over there, whatever. Usually end up licking it all. But that's not being that's not really being useful. You're just giving them busy work. That's what it is with Republicans. They're not doing anything useful. They're not contributors. They're not fully actualized adults in this thing of ours. Right? Which reminds me of Perjury Trader Green, though. See? The reason I say, when you say this thing of ours, because Perjury Trader Green is saying that the meetings with the Republicans are, they're calling them in, what are they calling them? The meetings of the five families. With the traitors who are taking over the House in a couple of days. The clown show that's getting ready to start for 2 years. Perjury Trader Green says that she says this openly. They're calling it the meeting of the five families, unaware or just ignorant that that's not really a good thing. You're talking about crime families. you dumb perjury traitor. Perjuring traitor. So, Yeah. Hello, this is Tara Devlin. This is our last Tarabuster of the year, and I can't believe it's already in the... How many times the music went off already? And that means we're getting closer to the end. And, I mean, just an aside, I started keeping a list of perjury, traitor, greens, misspellings. Not even misspellings. Yeah, they're just... It's windows into her ignorance. So, because every now and then this comes up, and if anybody thinks of anything else, there's more. I know. This just came to me today. I was like, I got to start making a list, and one is, of course, gazpacho police, peach tree dish, martial law, like Eminem's law, I guess, Marshall Mathers, commander and chief. Because she's a moron. Also, the epidemic of Y-O-U-R instead of Y-O-U''RE. This is somebody who's supposed to be college educated, running a business, supposedly. And the other one I had forgotten that I came across was single-handedly. Right? Single-handed. Handily. Single-handedly. Okay. Do you understand why she's so moronic? Because she has no intellectual curiosity. She hasn't read a book since Dick and Jane. She hears things on television, and that's where she gets her knowledge from. That's it. That's why she's such a moron. That's why she doesn't know it's not Marshall Mathers law, or it's it's not Peachtree dish, or single-handedly. Okay, all right. Let's put that on the side for a minute. All right. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. And thank you, Richard W., for your super chat. Another great show, Tara. She's handily single now, right? Haiku. I don't know. Her husband had to be somebody who hated himself, because she openly cheated on him. She made a cuck out of him, as the Republicans like to say. So anyway, Ammon Bundy, who is what happens when there are no consequences. Of course, he's white, though. You know what I mean? White, male, Republican. This is what, it's part of what it takes to be so privileged. He is white privilege personified, just like January 6th was white privilege in action. That's what happens when you're white privileged and you commit an act of domestic terrorism. You get to go home. Maybe the FBI catches up with you. Maybe they don't. Only because citizens might find you on Twitter, and then there's some kind of pressure to get your ass. But yeah, you get to go home. See, if you were a member of Black Lives Matter, and you stormed the Capitol and beat police and cattle prodded police and came with zip ties and hit police in the face with bear spray and built a gallows and chanted to hang Mike Pence and broke windows, defecated in the halls. Which I notice, guys, none of the for all their lying, none of them deny that there was no poo-poo in the halls, as Nancy Pelosi said, because that just goes to show you that, can you imagine the amount of it there must have been? If somebody told you that, if they accuse you of doing a poo-poo in the halls of Congress, you'd be like, that's outrageous. That's ridiculous. No, I would never do that. But Republicans, no one even denies it. They deny everything. They lie about the election being that it, they say the election was stolen. They lie about everything else. They say it was a tourist trip or something. But no one's ever pushed back and said, that's outrageous. There was no poo-poo in the halls. Right? Because they're filth. Of course there's poo-poo in the halls of that should get us all disgusted. Of course there is. It started the day that Ronald Reagan said the 9 most dangerous words in the English language are "I'm from the government" and or 9 most terrifying, whatever the hell. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. And it ends up with poo-poo in the halls. You don't poo-poo on something you respect and cherish. I mean, when I've been to a lot of protests. I've even been to protests where people got arrested, and no one ever poo-pooed. No one ever brought bear spray either, or cattle prods, or guns. Excuse me, I forgot the automatic weapons, or bombs. No one ever brought pipe bombs. All right. Anyway, something in my mouth that's bothering me. Okay, let me see. Ammon Bundy vows to meet damage collector with a shotgun if he loses this lawsuit that he's undergoing right now. I have to meet him on the front door. If I have to meet him on the front door with my friends in a shotgun, I'll do it, he said. Right-wing militant Ammon Bundy, who led an armed takeover of public land 6 years ago, and recently lost the race to be governor of Idaho, excuse me. Thank goodness for small favors. Vowed to confront anyone to collect possible damages in a defamation and harassment lawsuit against him with a shotgun. Well, let's see. That's your white male privilege. You know what? What people should say is, try it, bitch. Try it, traitor. But of course, he's openly threatening the agents and the representatives of the government that the founders fought a revolution to create and entrust to us. And right-wingers are giving him platforms to spew this kind of bullshit. And if we go back in time during the Obama years, that's one of the things that really frustrated me about Obama, was just how willing and eager he was to let these fuckers go, to just give them the wide berth. And this is what we have as a result. They have no respect. They're just a bunch of toddlers with automatic weapons. They don't want to pay. They don't want to pay their fair share. And if anyone dare, try to make them in some way respond or just pay for the damages they create the party of personal responsibility. That's it. They never take responsibility. They only stick to their mottos when they're trying to deny somebody health care, or a kid a hot lunch program, or someone some food or something. Then they're talking about the party of personal responsibility. When it comes to taking responsibility for being a bunch of domestic terrorist traitors, forget it. But you better believe that Ammon Bundy and the rest of the Bundy traitors, that they want all the benefits of civilization. They just don't want to share with anyone who's not them. They want to take and take. Everybody else has to pay. It's like Trump. Everyone else has to pay their taxes except Trump. Every other president, when I'm the president, it's automatically legal. When I'm the president, well, I'm the president. You can't indict me for crimes. Well, even the things that are supposed to happen to the president don't happen to Trump. Like being audited. The only thing that he kept telling us was happening. Isn't that funny? Right? And I mean, funny, like I want to puke. The only thing that, was supposed to happen, the audit, we all had to assume, well, he's under audit because that's what happens. It's automatically triggered by his being the freaking president despite receiving fewer votes. But the only thing that wasn't happening is an audit. And he paid more he paid more taxes to foreign governments than he paid to the United States. He's a traitor. And let's just get into it. We know he's a traitor. And he's also a Putin puppet. He's a Russian plant. Oh, the Russia hoax. It's not a fucking hoax. There were more Russians in the friggin' in the Trump administration than I think were in the friggin' Russian embassy. Everybody had something to do with Russians. And half of these filthy traitors were all falling into honeypots with Maria Butina. They're all, they are traitors. They go and visit Putin. They take money from Putin. And one of the other things with this George Santos character is that it's quite possible that he is a Russian agent. Where did he get all this money from? He's a filthy liar. We know that. He hates America. We know that he has no respect for America. He has no respect for anybody. He is a malignant narcissist like the rest of them. He's I don't even know. Is he a malignant narcissist? Is he a sociopath? There's some blur. There's some overlap. Anything for money, anything for narcissistic supply. Where's this? Wait, I see. Yes, Tara Jr. is sitting here. Everybody? Yes. Wait a minute. Hello? Say hello to your fans. Tara? Come here. Look at the camera, you. Hey! You see what he did? Hey. I don't like that. You don't care, though. All right. Where is this? All right, Junior, enough already. It just started, and I gotta put up with this shit. Oh, there, I did it. Right into the microphone. Here, I'm putting him back. Stop. Enough. Ow, you fucker. That was an accident, but I gotta cut his nails. He just grabbed my finger and now he scratched me. But it was an accident. Just says I gotta cut his nails. All right. Here's George Santos with Laura Trump.
Donald Trump is the most organic president in the history of our nation, right?
What does that mean, by the way? He's the most organic? Does that mean he's the most... It's like the blob. Right? What's that mean? Organic. I know what it means, but in regards to Trump, he's the most organic? And then they're like, yeah. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. He's the greediest. He's the most evil, narcissistic. He's a liar. He's the most unbearable, tediously grasping. The most, he's the biggest braggart. What does that mean? I do know, obviously that means he's alive. He's the most, what the fuck does that mean? He's a vegan? Commander Bond said. This guy is a vegan and a clairvoyant. The George Santos? Well, he's a liar. He's anything you want him to be. That's part of being a con man. Let me see. Let's continue. Wait. Oops, I hit the wrong button.
Donald Trump is the most organic president in the history of our nation, right? What one can beg to differ. Ronald Reagan was just as organic, but What? Somebody, please explain it to me. Right. Haiku says, no way he's gay. Look at the fit of that jacket. And that's the other thing. Is he even gay? He's kind of has that gay way about him. As a gay. But he's not that. And in fact, I know some people who aren't gay who have that way. So you never know. And, but besides the point. He was married to a woman up until 3 years ago. So he was running against a Democrat who was openly gay. Is that why he said he's gay? Because he just says whatever the hell he thinks he needs to say that gives him some kind of something different. Oh, in fact, I was watching some local news reports on him and his opponent when they were running, and they introduced him all the time as financier George Santos. Oh yeah, what a con! This is a con man through and through. That's what it means to be a con man. You've all seen that show American Greed. That's we have. Con men, they put on the suits. They drive the fancy car, and then they tell people they're the prince of, somebody's son or something, the son of Arabia. And people are, they're going to all the high class parties, dropping names, and people want to believe because you just take others at face value. Who's going to go check? So he's a grifter. He was making $55,000 a year a couple of years ago. Then suddenly he loaned his campaign $700,000. He was living in his sister's house. He said he was, this company that he owned. What was it supposed to do? No one said. He's just a financier. What the fuck is that? What's a financier? Somebody who uses money? It kind of gives you the impression he's rich. He's a rich boy. Oh, when I made my first million. The shit that comes out of this guy's mouth. It's absolutely shameless. And guess what? The Republicans are going to swear him in a couple of days. Yes, Jim. Tulsi Gabbard gutted him on Fox, which is the only useful thing she ever did. It's true. She did, but yeah. She should gut herself. Legally and peacefully. Look at herself. Look at herself in the mirror. But the president came from an outsider perspective, took the world by storm. He took away the presidency.
He took the world by storm. No, the world, it was like when you get food poisoning. He poisoned the world. It was like he's always been doing from the time he
I don't know, was just some kind of disco prowler here in New York. He took the world by storm. If the world would be better off if Donald Trump was never born. Is that taking the world by storm? I mean, there are some people the world would be better off without ever having lived. He's one of them. He hasn't contributed. Donald Trump is nothing but a parasite. A bloated, filthy, rotten slug of a parasite. He's a disease. George Santos, there's no difference between George Santos and Donald Trump. They are the same. They're two sides of the same coin. They lied about very much the same things, everything. Everything about Trump is a lie. And right, for example, I'll get back to this clip in a second.
Mr. President, I'm asking you a question. Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017?
Millions of dollars.
You paid millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
So
yes.
not 750.
Millions of dollars, and you'll get to see it.
You'll get to see it. When? In 2 weeks. You'll get to see it in 2 weeks.
Donald Trump is the most organic president in the history of our nation, right? What one can beg to differ. Ronald Reagan was just as organic, but
organic. What
president
does that
came
mean?
from.
Does he have gas or something? Does he smell? He's the most organic. He's the most what? Greasy, slippery. He's made of water. He's 90% water. What is it? All right, we're back watching George Santos. Right, haiku. It was Robin who said, you could bury this guy in a matchbox if you gave him an enema. It's so true.
An outsider perspective, took the world by storm. You know, he took away the presidency for who was promised a presidency, which was Hillary Clinton, shocked the nation, shocked the world. And these people love him. Why? It took a billionaire to become the little man's people. The little man's president. And what's amazing to me for growing up as a kid who would walk by Trump Tower and look up and say, Mom, one day I want to have...
Hold on. I just to go back to that. I dropped the cap of my soda.
The world. And these people love him. Why? It took a billionaire to become the little man's people. The little man's president. And...
It took a billionaire to become the little man's president. Well, that's the first true thing he ever said. It's half a truth. And a lie, of course. Donald Trump is not a billionaire, but he is the little man's president, right? And I mean very little. Little, petty, fragile, immoral, vile, repugnant, tiny, tiny, small men. He is the president for those people. Very little men. Exactly. So.
What's amazing to me for growing up as a kid who would walk by Trump Tower and look up and say, Mom, one day I want to have a building with my name on it.
Bullshit. 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 If that's not a bullshit story, nothing is a bullshit story. I've never, ever heard such bullshit in my... Mom, look at Mommy. One day I want to have a building with my name on it. Yeah, well, if you sell out the country to Russian oligarchs, you Russian troll, you filthy Russian spy, that's what he is. He's a freaking traitor. How many traitors do we have to deal with at once? It's like the goddamn Walking Dead of traitors. You know, just when you think you got them, they come back. They just keep coming. It's a horde. Mom, I looked up and I said, Mommy, I want to have name on it. What fucking name you going to put on there? Because we got a couple of names for you. right? Is it going to be George, what's his name? Santos? What was the other name he used? He used, where is it? He set up a fake animal charity because I guess he heard people like animals, not like him, but, you know, because he's not a person. He is a sociopath. This is what a sociopath in action. I can't believe I got to take a class on. I mean, I only read that book, Sociopath Next Door, but doing this and watching Republicans, you really need to know your sociopaths. You got to get up on your sociopaths and your psychopathic personalities. You know, because they abound. They are legion in the Republican Party. And they're made into heroes to Republicans. In order to be a Republican, you understand, if kindness, compassion, everything that is human is vilified in the Republican Party. Unity, e pluribus unum. That's why I always say when Republicans are like, you know, bashing socialism or whatever, no one ever pushes back on them. Push back. You know, what part of, what is e pluribus unum? What is pledging my life, fortune, and sacred honor to each other? What's that? Does that mean we have no accountability to each other? And what do you think socialism is? What part of the government don't you like, or do you consider socialism? Is it Social Security? Is it Medicaid? Is it Medicare? Is it the regulations, such as, you know, as lax as they are, like, oh, you can't, a private company can't kick you off their insurance when you're sick? A recent development, thanks to government regulation. What part? Which part don't you want? Because of socialism. But no one ever pushes back, of course. But anyway, Santos reportedly used the name Anthony Zabrovsky on the GoFundMe site. He claims, additional claims that Representative-elect George Santos fabricated information about his personal background have emerged. Santos claimed earlier this year that his maternal grandparents changed their last names from Zabrovsky to conceal their Jewish heritage. Records show that the newly elected representative used the alias Anthony Zabrovsky for a pet charity on GoFundMe. The webpage no longer exists. In a Fox News interview, Santos, in February, Santos spoke about his grandparents and why they needed to change their last name for survival. Oh, this narcissist, this pig. Excuse me, pigs. I'm sorry. We don't want to insult pigs. I'm sorry. We don't carry the Ukrainian last name, Santos said. For a lot of people who are descendants of World War II refugees or survivors of the Holocaust, a lot of names and paperwork were changed in the name of survival. So I don't carry the family last name that would have been Zabrovsky. I carry my mother's maiden name, which is the Dutch side of the family. Go fuck yourself with this shit. You fucking legend in your own mind, traitor, scumbag. News outlets have questioned Santos's claims about his family in recent weeks, citing genealogy records that show his grandparents were born in Brazil before the Nazis rose to power. Santos claimed that they emigrated to Brazil during World War II to escape. Author and professional genealogist Megan Smoleniak, who researched Santos' family history for CNN, told the outlet there's no sign of Jewish and/or Ukrainian heritage. And, of course, the Ukrainian heritage, that's like the new cool thing, I guess, right? So he has to be it. like being gay and being Jewish is because, well, that somehow feeds being a survivor of the Holocaust, or your family fleeing the Holocaust. That ticks a lot of boxes. That pulls some heartstrings and makes you somehow seem more like, wow, the American dream. There's no sign of Jewish and or Ukrainian heritage and no indication of a name change along the way. It does take a very sick person to lie like this. This is a very sick man, and if he didn't get into politics, I guess we have to say, I mean, he would generally just be a con man. But the sad thing and the alarming thing is that there are nothing but con men. So, in the Republican Party, they're all a bunch of grifters, and they're only attracting more. Thanks to money in politics. It's just going to keep these cockroaches coming. The news comes as the Republican Jewish Coalition announced this week that Santos is not welcome at organization events due to the misrepresentation of his heritage. Yeah, because he even spoke to them. Right? Listen to this. Sorry that I did.
Oh, good morning. Shabbat shalom to everybody. And thank you for being here. Thank you for having.
Oh my! This is him speaking at the Republican Jewish, what is that? Coalition conference, something. Whatever they call themselves. Commission, coalition. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Oh, good morning. Shabbat shalom to everybody.
Oh, you shameless prick. I was gonna call him a pig again and then stop myself.
Donald Trump is the most organic president in the history of our nation, right? Yeah. One can beg the little man's people. The little man's president. Yes. And
tiny,
what's amazing to me for growing up as a kid who would walk by Trump Tower and look up and say, Mom, one day I want to have a building with my name on it.
Bullshit! Bullshit! And who's this dude just looking down on the set? That's a little odd. He's not even engaged in the conversation. He's just looking down, looking at his papers. Hold on. We'll be right back. It's going by fast. Holy moly. All right, guys. This is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. Nice to see you, Mark C. in the chat. Nice to see you. Hello, everybody. Hello. Thank you, Ed II, for your super chat. And thank you, Terry Taylor, for your super chat. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, too, my friend. Thank you for hanging out. I can't do the show without you guys, so thank you so much. And thank you again, Lori, for becoming a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevil. And that keeps the show going and growing. That's what happens. Thank you, Lori. Yes, Lara Trump is a grifter, too. I don't understand how much more do you need, Lara? Do something good with your time, your life. Instead, you got to you got to become some kind of propaganda gal. Just got to spew bullshit into the empty heads of morons. That's what you're doing with your life. Good. Our consolation is that we know, and mark my words, it's true, that one day, not too far in the future, all of these Republicans will be vilified and reviled by everyone. It's sort of like, what's that guy's name? Like during the Red Scare, the congressman who ended up killing himself, at the time, he was very powerful and very much the center of attention. But he died in ignominy. Ignominy? Is that a word? No. Now I'm making words up, like perjury, traitor, green. No, that's different. But McCarthy, yeah. He's not recalled with any kind of fondness. And generally history, in the perspective of history, when there's no more political bullshit to be made. Yeah, Joseph McCarthy. Thank you, Sage, on the chat. When there's no more bullshit to shovel, you know, and in history's light, they don't come out looking well at all. And same thing, that's going to be Lara Trump. That'll be the entire Trump family. Obviously, it's George Santos. All right, let's continue. It's only a few seconds.
I went to business school because of Donald Trump.
Wow.
I ran for...
Wow. No, you fake went to business school. He went to no school.
Kid who would walk by Trump Tower and look up and say, Mom, one day I want to have a building with my name on it, you know? And I went to business school because of Donald Trump.
Wow.
I ran for Congress because I thought Donald Trump, if he made it, it was the time for everybody to have an opportunity. The Democrats can't take that away.
Who wants to take anything away from you, asshole? No one's taking shit away from you. Just be yourself. But I guess you are such a... You know how inadequate you are. This is really the Republican psychology. They spew a lot of bullshit. They were all a bunch of bullshit artists. Even that Ammon, Bundy, all of them. You know, they put on their toxic masculinity suit. And it is to cover just how scared and tiny they really are. So, because the world keeps evolving, whatever it might be, whatever their facade is, they only put this on to kind of distract from the fact that, you know, we might find out how inadequate they are. That's really what it's about. So they're all a bunch of grifters in one form or another. And deep down inside, they are horrible and miserable. And, you know, they really do. It stems from self-loathing. None of these fucking idiots are like, you know, happy in their hearts. Because you don't behave like this if you are. It's impossible. People who are self-assured, who are normal, decent, loving, kind, compassionate, they don't have to behave like fraud. They just, you are what you are. I am what I am, right? But they will never get the help they need, because that will take courage, and they don't have that. But anyway, this one, he's a special case because he is a sociopath, narcissist, and he's in a class all by himself to a degree, but only by a matter of, you know, inches, because they're all grifters in some form. Whatever scam they're running, you know, think about it. Throw a Republican at me, and we can dissect their scam. Like Sarah Palin. You know, she every single one of them. You know, Lauren Boebert, perjury, traitor, green, Matt Getz. They're all frauds. Everyone got where they are because of having money, or Lauren Boebert. Like, that's a whole other story in itself. She's entirely a fraud. They all suck at business. They all pretend to be good at business. Right, but everything's a scam. Matt Getz, his father was a rich guy and a powerful and connected guy. That's why, and he wrote his coattails. And he was infamous for being an asshole in the Fort Lauderdale bars, sexually harassing waitresses, getting thrown out by bouncers, and yelling, "Don't you know who my father is?" That's them. These are the little brats. They're the boss's sons who never learned how to, no one ever said no to them. They never learned how to behave. And now they're all going to tell us about personal responsibility. What about responsibility in to your country and community? We still haven't heard from Kevin McCarthy. You know, that's the Republican leader in a nutshell. Another narcissist, another sociopath who doesn't give a shit about the country. He is concerned about becoming Speaker of the House in a long line of speakers of the House. I mean, what a piece of dirt. This is what Republicans do to the country. They degrade it. They embarrass it. They put these frauds in the positions of power, like Trump himself. The more we read the transcripts of the January 6th hearings and the depositions, and you get a window into the world of what was going on behind the scenes in the Trump White House, where you had unqualified, unfit flunkies running departments in positions of authority because the actual experts were either vilified or run out of town or didn't want to put up with the bullshit anymore. All right, we're back. What did he say at the end there? I forgot.
I thought Donald Trump, if he made it, it was the time for everybody to have an opportunity.
Yes.
The Democrats can't take that away.
The Democrats can't take it away. Yeah, we want to take it all away.
Because of
I went to business school.
Trump. Wow. I ran for Congress because I thought Donald.
Wow. I went to business school because of Trump. What else did you do? You just got to just sit down and fold your arms and listen to the bullshit roll. It's incredible. They're really fucked up. Here's another ad. Here's George Santos. This pissed me off, too.
And tried over and over again.
Oh, this is an ad.
It's tried and tried over and over again.
He's talking about socialism. Wait, here's the ad. What is the fucking ad? Do I have it? Maybe not. Oh, wait, I'll play it here. Wait, hold on. I'll get it ready in a second. See, this is what I'm producing the show on air. And Tara Jr.'s looking at me. He's getting ready to bite my other hand. Let me just play this.
It fails every time.
He's talking about socialism.
My grandparents escaped socialism. They've escaped communism and the Holocaust. So it drives me nuts when I see these talking points that are really reminiscent of something that occurred during one of the least flattering times in the history of our world, and nobody curbs them.
Oh, my God. Anything to get the Republican hatred of the general welfare. Keep that cooking with gas. Right? Oh, socialism. No one loves it. No one likes it at all. Except, God damn it, if you touch my Medicaid, if you put your government hands on my Medicaid, right? Here's a clip. It's not the whole ad. I couldn't find the entire ad, unfortunately. But here's a bit of one of George Santos's ads.
Socialism destroys people's lives because my grandparents survived the Holocaust. I've seen how socialism destroys people's lives because my grandparents survived the Holocaust. I despise this evil system. It's been tried and tried again and always fails. I've seen...
What are you fucking talking about? They're trying it right now in the happiest places on earth, right? It always fails. You know what always fails? Fascism. That's what fails. People like you. Failures fail. And thank you, Mark C., for your super chat. More truth in 2023. Thank you so much. Keeping the show going and growing. Socialism is terrible, except, when I benefit, right? Socialism for me, not for thee. Socialism. This, and you know, this is something that drives me up the wall because these Republicans and, corporate media and Democrats, no one ever comes back and says, what are you talking about? Yes, right. Terry Taylor, least flattering time. Well, give us specifics. What are you talking about? What socialism? Where? Show me. Give me a policy that you don't like. Give me the socialism you see. Is government trying to take over the means of production? Is that what's happening? Is government trying to take over private corporations? I mean, was trust busting? Is that socialism? What about, well, of course, Republicans think this, but get it out there. Well, how about the minimum wage? Child labor. That used to be unconstitutional. I mean, it was unconstitutional to prevent child labor because, you couldn't tell businesses what to do. Well, what do you think about child labor? Is that what you're talking about? Because is socialism regulation? Like what? What regulations? Should corporations be allowed to treat people however they want, however they think is better for their bottom line, no matter what? Should they be able to serve food to the public and not think about the standards that, the government tells them they have to live up to in order to serve food to the public, like temperatures and the health department and all that crap. So you don't get sick. Where it used to be, where we don't have to walk around with tapeworms and shit like that. Like they did in every other period in history. And they do still now in countries like North Korea, where everyone has tapeworms because there's no standards. Everywhere it's tried. Where? Like where? Where? You're talking about Nazism? Oh, because you see what I mean. And they count on the stupidity of the morons who follow them because the Nazis were called National Socialists. That's all it is. It's a name. But they were as socialist as the People's Democratic Republic of North Korea is a democratic republic. So, and we know that. History knows that. Our lion eyes know that. No socialist government, because in fact the Nazis were the mortal enemies of the communists, which are an ideology a lot closer to socialism than what these right wingers are talking about. But don't confuse them with reality. And everybody knew for years, this new ignorance becomes more prevalent concerning the Nazis. The further we get away from, the actual event. So there are less and less people alive, that live through it, and so they get to write their own history again. And but the truth is, one of the first things the Nazis did were abolish labor unions, among any other things that Republicans are actually literally engaged in. Many of the same fascist tactics, like stuffing the courts with unqualified loyalists, replacing expertise with loyalism. That is a fascist tactic through and through. And I really do wish that if I had my wish, the corporate media pundits would say it. Right, Commander Bond. Socialism is not a form of government. It is an economic base. Exactly. But, it's in my, in generally, when Bernie talks about democratic social, what we're talking about is regulating capitalism. So it functions, and it functions for more than just the billionaire class. A set of handful of cancer cells that shouldn't exist. So, and that's the conversation, right? What is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of an economy? Are we just, do we exist just so a few people can get fat and sit on the top of the pile and spit down on us, trickle down on us? That's not a system. That's not the system the founders fought a revolution to overthrow. And create, right? That's not something that's not freedom in any sense of the word. What is free? You're not free if you are a wage slave. You're not free if you can't get sick. You can't afford the frailties of being a human being. That's, you're not free. If you can't take a day off, you can't take a walk, you can't have the free time to pursue being a human being. What is the point? So, fascism is a fucking ideology that the Republicans have revived. They've breathed new life into that machine. Oh, and we know how disgusting they are, but they think, I just saw something earlier on social media, of course, Twitter, which is a toilet, but they're like, oh, everybody you don't like, just call them a Nazi. We call you Nazis because you're Nazis. All right. But don't tell me that socialism. Tell me if you don't like socialism, just say it. But don't fucking confuse. Don't confuse your bullshit, your disdain for democracy, and confuse the morons with by trying to conflate socialism with fascism, which is what you're doing. You're engaged in a fascist takeover of the country. And we know for how much so by the fact that even the corporate media is calling it out. Now, they can't even deny it. When I started hearing regular corporate media pundits using the fascist word, I was like, good. Finally. Because I've been saying it for 10 years. Right, they like corporate socialism, Jim on the chat says. It's true. They love it. They love socialism. They love it just fine. Only when it benefits them, like the Bundy family. They like socialism when they're sucking on the government teat. They just don't want to have to pay. They don't want to have to pay their fair share. That's Trump. That's George fucking whatever, Santos, whatever his name is now. Where is this? Let's just read some more about George Santos. Because he's going to be fun. I can't take it. You know, that's the thing. When they keep saying on the corporate media how, well, Kevin McCarthy is in a political bind because he needs every vote he can get to become speaker. And he's yet to even release a statement about this George Santos character because he's only 4 votes. He can only afford to lose 4 votes. And Santos has promised him one of those votes. And yeah, he deserves? How about who deserves to be the fucking Speaker of the House? Wouldn't it be somebody who is not a spineless coward? Who can't stand up in the face of obvious, unfit, vile piece of pus. This infected pustule that is possibly and most likely a goddamn threat to national security. He's going to get secret secure. I don't know what their security do they get. Not everyone gets top secret. That's for sure. Whatever, depending on what committees they put him on or what intelligence he gets, he'll have to. Will he be able to pass a security check? Probably not. Or clearance? I don't know. But I guess Republicans have no standard, so they gave Jared Kushner. He couldn't pass. He couldn't pass a security clearance. He attempted and had to continue to fill it out, because he kept forgetting. A lot of fucking forgetters in the Republican Party. They all forget. And if you read, speaking of the traitors, the January 6th traitors, the coup that's still happening, if you read these transcripts, it's quite stunning. The lapse of... the memory lapses in the Republican Party. Donald Trump Jr., Jared Kushner, they all fucking forgot. I remember January 6th. Everybody does. Where were you on January 6th? This terrorist attack on our government, and none of these Republicans know where they were. They don't know what they were doing. Oh, how weird. They're all liars. Traitor, perjury, traitor, Green. She's the same thing. She got on the stand and perjured herself again and again and again. Oh, I don't remember. I don't recall. I forget. Because that's what they do. And in the transcripts, what Cassidy Hutchinson said, that she was told by Trump's lawyer to plead forgetfulness, like Saint Reagan did. I don't recall. When he was caught with his dick being a traitor in the trees in his cookie jar. He says they're all a bunch of traitors. Don't you understand that? I mean, why Reagan was conducting a war, a secret war, and outside of Congress, right? I mean, Congress is supposed to declare war. The president's not allowed to fucking just have a war because they want to destroy. Well, and now we're still paying for Reagan's war, right? Because in Nicaragua, the Contras. I mean, everything. They are a bunch of traitors, and he didn't recall either. No, they never recall, and no one ever connects the dots either, right? But if you read the transcripts, they're like, oh, I don't remember, I don't recall. Same thing with perjury, traitor, Green when she's on the stand. I mean, they have no integrity. That's how much they hate this country. You understand? They hate the nation of laws. They hate the nation of immigrants. They hate the Constitution. They just like being, they like stars and eagles, I think. And they like to pretend they're free. Well, they want to be, they like selfishness. They like selfishness. Because that's all they're capable of. It's like a baby, you know? Babies, they're born that way. They're selfish. They recognize, you can recognize your mother's face or whatever. You think you're the center of the universe. Then you start realizing, oh my God, there's other people. You kind of grow out of it. Usually, most children do. So there's stages. And I think you grow out of that selfish stage or thinking you're the center of the universe by, I think, 3? Or maybe I don't know. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. I took that as part of Psych 101. But, yeah, Republicans never grow out of it. Oh, look at this. PP is trending. I wonder why. Because I always talk about the PP patrol. So what did the Republicans do now? PP? Oh, it's for one of these other... Who is PP? PP? Anyway. Oh, yes. And Marjorie Nazi Green is trending. She's a Nazi. Oh, good. Good. Oh, and speaking of, here, let me play this while we're... Here's some, someone made this, so there's music attached.
You can't allow it to just transfer power peacefully, like Joe Biden wants.
That's you, right, Ms. Green?
When we rise up, we can end all of this. Flood all the government buildings. Go inside. The only way you get your freedoms back is it's earned with the price of blood. Anything at
all. Ugh, isn't it unbearable? Oh my God. Right? To share this country that has so much potential with these traitors who hate it so fundamentally, so entirely, through and through. They hate everything about it. They hate our story. They hate the truth. They hate the diversity. They think diversity is the weakness of this country. And we have clips of one of their pals, Nick Fuentes, talking about it. Yeah. They want, what's his name, Kevin McCarthy, to be a leader when he hasn't built a spine yet. Hasn't found a spine. All right, listen, this is the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show. Come on over to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster to listen to the rest of it and join us on Friday evenings, and we will win. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Happy New Year. We're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together, we win. My name is Tara Devlin, and I will see you soon. All right. I can't believe how fast. Is it fast for you too? Thank you for hanging out. I was looking for this other thing. Where is it? There's a couple of other things. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sorry. You know me. I harp on the one thing. I just keep harping on it all. And then the time runs out. Let's I don't know. I wanted to play this lady. There's a couple of dumb bitches I wanted to talk about in the last part of the show. And this is another example of Republican fascism. And it was Robin who brought this up to me. And when we were in one of the shows this week on the Malloy show, that this Michele Fiore, so in Nevada, Nye County commissioners appoint Michele Fiore as a justice of the peace. So Nye County commissioners have appointed former Assemblywoman and Las Vegas City Councilwoman Michele Fiore to serve as Pahrump, justice of the peace. The unanimous decision came after commissioners spent about 4 hours interviewing candidates, asking how they felt about allowing guns in courtrooms. In making the motion to approve Fiore, Commissioner Donna Cox cited the former lawmaker's ambition, her knowledge, and recommendation from former fucking traitor. Well, not former traitor. Traitor. Present traitor, former so-called president, tax cheating, draft dodging, dictator envying con man with the fake university, Donald Trump. As well as Fiore's plans to build in Nye County. Fiore, who said she had been, she has no qualifications. Like, add her to the long list of Republicans who have zero qualifications for their jobs. And add this to the list of Nazi tactics that Republicans are engaged in, whether they know it or not, whether they know this is a Nazi tactic or not. That's the thing about Republicans. They are such Nazis, they don't even know when they're engaged in Nazi tactics or when they sound like Nazis. Like when they're calling to burn books. I see how yellow this is. Let's see if that fixes it. No? I'm talking about the camera. But when they're calling to burn books in their meetings, whatever, in their town hall meetings, and they're like, I don't care what you do with them. Throw them in a pile and burn them up. They don't realize how that, not just sounds, but it makes you a Nazi. You're a fucking Nazi. Who burned books? Normal people don't burn books. You don't like a book, don't read it. Kids might see it. Well, some kids are gay. Some kids may not be gay, but maybe it's good to have them grow up and not be a dick, not be a fucking asshole to others who might be different. Ever think of that? No, Republicans don't. But anyway, okay, back to Michele Fiore, who said she's been renting a house. She doesn't even live there in the county since November. It's only been a month or so, and is very excited to be a Pahrump girl. She said she was working on her bachelor's degree. They're going to make her a fucking judge, all right? This is what's happening. This bitch who is a cuckoo, and Donald Trump likes her. So they're going to put her in the position on a bench, lording over the rest of us. So God help you if you're someone of color, if you're a trans person or a gay person, you go in front of this bitch. You're SOL in this fascist, this fascist country where the Republicans have influence, and they can and this is what they're doing. They replace expertise with loyalists. They're disgusting, and they devalue the entire system by doing it that way. They denigrate everything they touch. They destroy everything they touch. This is what she says. I'm excited about the learning. Oh, wait. Excuse me. She's been renting a house. She is working on her bachelor's degree, and she has an intention to become a licensed attorney in the future. Why? Why would you become an attorney? You're a fucking judge now. Who needs the law? You don't need the law. You just gotta go with your gut, right, bitch? I hate these people, you know? Legally and peacefully, I hate them. I'm excited about the learning curve, she said. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know everything. Well, that's what we need from a judge. Because your fucking job is to sit there and know everything. Right? They make everything suck. They destroy everything they touch. Someone prove me wrong. Show me. I'll happily read a story about a Republican who is decent and isn't making the world a better place, a worse place, and isn't a complete fraud or a hate-mongering, greed-centered ghost of the Gilded Age. I would love to. The divisive, sick, goddamn, I don't know, archaic throwback to times we thought we left in history's trash pile. I would love to read it. I want to see it. I would love to do that. I'm excited about the learning curve. Oh, aren't we all? Michelle, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know everything. I will tell you what I don't know when I don't know it. Oh, sure, I'd like to see that in the court. Order in the court. I don't know what are you doing? Order in the court. I don't know what the fuck you're saying. Can you dumb it down? Stop using all those legal terms. I know, and she said it will be very exciting. Yeah, sort of the kind of excitement you get when you in fear for your life and then you shit your pants. And I will go to whatever lengths I have to make sure that I have all the knowledge, except for actually going through the process of earning your way into the position, right? I will make sure I do everything I can to do my best. How about go to law school, graduate, study, go year after year after year, study, learn, pass your tests, pass the bar, get a internship or clerkship at another judge, do that for a few years, maybe open your own practice or go work for the county, become a district attorney. Then after a couple of years of that, maybe if we go into private practice or then become a judge. I will make sure I do it all. Except everything I need to fucking do. Everything that everybody else has to do. Because different rules for Republicans. This is a joke. Where do we live? If this is a great country, do great countries do things like this? Huh? I want to ask Republicans, are you feeling proud? You feel proud, Republicans? Of all the unqualified loyalists you shoved on the bench following your hero Hitler? That's what he did. And I wish, listen, if you're a regular Democrat and you're just run-of-the-mill Democrat, or you're a corporate media pundit, why don't you talk about this and say, It's not just violating a norm or crossing a line when Republicans rig the courts or do whatever they can, pull their dirty tricks to shove more unqualified loyalists onto the court. It's a Nazi tactic. You're calling out the fascism. Why not? Don't just say it. Show it. Tell us. Here it is. Here's another example. It's not just Donald Trump. It's all of them. It's every single one of them. Here we go. It gets worse. Fiore was a Republican lawmaker in the Assembly before serving a term on one term on the Las Vegas City Council and losing a bid to become the state treasurer. A gun enthusiast, Fiore appeared in a campaign commercial shooting beer bottles with labels that read vaccine mandate and CRT. And she said she didn't mind people bringing guns into the courtroom because an armed society is a polite society? It is. Have you seen, I don't know, whatever, any Westerns come to mind? I mean, give me a break. You can't be polite without being a fucking armed moron? Most of us are polite. We're just not that sick like you are, Michelle. We don't need to threaten people with deadly force if they step on our toes. We say, "Excuse me," because we weren't raised like by domestic terrorists like half these Republicans. And this is what she says about the courtroom. Bring a gun. Somebody bring a gun and test this, because she's begging for it. If we get in a gun battle, I'll probably win. So I'm cool with you bringing a gun in the courtroom. Do these people know what disgraces they are? How sick they are? Oh, and it gets even worse. A public commenter who called in after the decision said Fiore's appointment would put Pahrump on the map and be national news, and that's the name of their town. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I have to tell you, Pahrump, Pahrump. And he said, "I think the left is gonna go berserk, because that's all that matters now. You understand? Don't have a functioning society. We can't have functioning government or a government that is run by people you respect, maybe, that you respect the work they put into getting their positions. They're put there by the king, the lords. Just like in the system, the founders fought a revolution to escape. You never knew what you were going to get. You would go in front of the Lord's council and be like, "Oh, yes, my lord." And you hope that my lord is somehow decent, but you don't know. You don't know they're bad. You could get Augustus. You could get Nero. But you just don't know. It's the luck of, being on the other side of history. Just putting it up there because it's orange. I don't know what's happening with the camera. You see? The left is going to go berserk. And if that's your motivation, you're destroying America because it's going to trigger the libs. Anybody who isn't triggered by this is a traitor, okay? You are part of the problem. You're not the solution. You are a domestic terrorist, like the founders warned us about. The left's going to go mad when they see that we're shitting in the Capitol. When they see that we're shitting on this in this courtroom. They're going to go berserk. Well, yeah. it's a patriotic imperative. It's like a litmus test. If you aren't disgusted, outraged, and sick of it, if you read this story and you're like, yay, you are a traitor. Okay? That's how we know. This is the test. If you're motivated by triggering the libs, you think this is fun, it's all a fucking game, some dumb America-hating bitch says, yeah, bring a gun in my courtroom, who shouldn't even be anywhere, she should be on the other side, having to explain herself to a qualified judge. This is how republics die. It dies because people like Republicans, who are unfit, they're incapable of functioning in a free democratic society, and instead of evolving because they're babies, and they want to see everybody's pee-pee, they're worried about a pee-pee, they do whatever they can to transform a decent modern society, or one struggling to be, but they try to make it just like them. Unfit, unqualified, a joke, a laughingstock, triggered. You want to see triggered? This is what happens when you're triggered. They're so triggered by democracy, they're letting the ghouls and the freaks and the flying monkeys, like Mike Malloy says, run free into our government to destroy it. The little trolls, the gremlins are loose in the gears. I think the left is gonna go berserk. Oh, and it was a woman, Amy Nelson. Well, guess what, Amy? Fuck you, Amy Nelson. You're gonna trigger them. Well, anyone who isn't a traitor will be alarmed by you, Amy Nelson, and the rest of your unfit, unqualified assholes that you support. You prove me right every single day, and I hate it. I wish I was wrong. I do. Jesus Christ. They're a joke. A effing joke. And you want to see her? You want to puke? Here she is. Oh, wait, that's not her. That's me. No. Don't puke. I'm only kidding. Where is it? No, that's ScreenFlow. Come on, Ecamm, help me out, man. There she is. Yay, America! She's riding a big truck, of course, like an asshole. She looks incredibly, not like she never skipped sacrificed a day in her life. She didn't look like she sacrificed the lunch, that's for sure. Excuse me, I know. Never had to struggle. Never had to save. Never had to skip a lunch. Now she's look at me, I'm a judge. Look at me, Mom. Look at me, Mommy. Who knew that all I had to do was absolutely nothing, and I could be a judge? Mama, look at me now, Mama. Who knew that all I had to do was just kiss the ass of a traitor? An unfit traitor like me. Look at the Bible says The meek shall inherit the earth. But I didn't know it meant the meek of mind, the morally meek, the spiritually, the insane, the spiritually meek, I should say. I gotta finish that sentence. Well, the left is just gonna go fucking balls out nuts when they see America dying. They're just going to go crazy. They're going to be so triggered when they see us taking shits in the Capitol, when they see us beating up the cops trying to stop us, when they see us saying, all I need is 1,100 votes, and come on, fellas, give me a break. Yeah, all you got to do is just tell them something. Tell them anything. Just tell them they recalculated. Fuck them. Fuck the government that the founders fought a revolution to escape. To entrust to us. Fuck them. Just tell them anything. They're stupid. Stupid serfs. They didn't have the smarts to pull themselves up by their bootstraps or come up with some kind of multi-level marketing vitamin scam. They didn't have the smarts to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and inherit their daddy's real estate, whatever the hell. They didn't have no bootstraps to pull up by, inherit hundreds of thousands of dollars and then have their daddy bail them out 5 times. That's dumb. Yes, Junior. Look how good he is. Look at the camera and say hello. Say how good you are. Yes, you are. You are. Okay, we have one more. Okay, wait. Do you see what I'm dealing with? Though you don't, do you? Look at this. Come here. Give me your paw. Give me your paw. Yes, you're very good. Yes, I just wanted to show you off. You and your paw. Come here. You're done. You're done. All right, one last thing before we go. Before I have to get unconscious before the new year. I know this is a couple of days old, but you might have missed it. And it's fucking unreal, so I have to play it. And it's part of Republicans are nuts. So I don't know if you saw the story about this QAnon lady. She quit. She dumps QAnon. And this is what I say all the time. Republicans, some of them are, they're all suffering from some form of mental illness, whether it be sociopathy or psychopathy or antisocial. Well, I guess that's psychopathy, antisocial personality disorder. Or they are, greedy. They have moral failings. They're selfish. They're fearful, cowardly, sick, self-loathing, closet cases, whatever it might be, and incapable of functioning in a democracy. But there are others who are actually mentally ill, and this is why Republicans are craven and disgusting, because they are playing with these people. They're toying with their minds, and they are manipulating them. When they should be getting them help, they should be. They shouldn't be feeding their diseased minds with all kinds of nonsense about adrenochrome and human trafficking, which usually occurs when Republicans are involved. Like, for example, that we're running out of time, so I can't get into it. But one of these Republicans. What was that? The Andrew Tate. He was detained. He'll spend New Year's in a Hungarian prison, or Romanian prison, because he was detained on human trafficking charges. But okay, he's the toxic masculine. This toxic piece of shit. He's misogynist. He hates people. He hates women. Anyway, we'll get to him another day. But that's who they are. That's them. So, but this woman, she's a kook. She's got mental problems. And so anyway, here's from Raw Story. Since its inception, this is from Brandon Gage, right? Since its inception on 4chan in 2017, the right-wing cult QAnon has spread around the world and made significant inroads among the Republican Party's fringe voting base, and it's not fringe anymore. Led by a mysterious figure known only as Q, the occasionally violence-inspiring movement is a tangled web of conspiracy theories, the most prominent of which is that a secret cabal of pedophiles is aiming to control humanity, and that the only hope for salvation is to reinstate Donald Trump so that he can win the war against the deep state. Trump has embraced some of these vacuous ideas. Beyond that, however, there are additional tendrils that percolate through the Q community, ranging from Hillary Clinton's Pizzagate fiasco to the sinister infiltration of government by lizard people, to John F. Kennedy Jr. lying in wait to be Trump's next vice president. QAnon is, at its core, an intellectual black hole that feasts on the vulnerable minds of its subscribers. But what happens if a devout believer decides they've had enough? The question was answered on Tuesday when a woman from Vancouver named Michele Titler, that is her name, Titler, who has a reputation for posting racist content, what a surprise, dumped Q in a profanity-filled video. Oh, all right, you want to watch it? Let's watch it together. Here we go. We'll get it together in a minute.
Roll the camera. There are a lot of orbs here right now, but that's okay, because nothing you say or do right now, Q, is going to stop me. Fuck off, all of you. Seriously, I quit. I quit Q and Q Army. And the reason why I quit is because on December 19th, 2022, Q refused to acknowledge my Q plus 3730. And I've been doing it for 6 years. Next year, that means I have to wait for another year. Look at all these orbs. You guys, get lost. I'm not coming back, no matter what you do right here with these orbs. Just so you know, no matter what happens from here on in, Q, wow. I'm not coming back. You're on your own. And in fact, I'm taking down the ET transmissions. Fuck you. Fuck all of you on this planet. All right, I tried to give the ET transmissions to Lara Logan. I tried to give them to Steve Bannon. Lara Logan, I got gang raped a whole bunch of times. Therefore, I'm a legit journalist. Bullshit, Lara Logan. All you can talk about is the rape at the border. You can't talk about the real pandemic of child trafficking. None of you can. And it's in my ET transmissions. Q, fuck you. I'm telling you, Q, the minute I see you, I'm going to punch you in the temple so goddamn hard, it's going to knock you out.
See how violent they are?
It didn't have to be this way. It never had to be this way. During the sinking of Atlantis, the Archons took over, and that's how long it's taken you to get back here and do anything at all. And even though you've gotten back here and you sucked everybody into all of this for this long, nothing has happened. No arrests, nothing. We've got yet another election stolen. No! No, Q! No! No matter what happens from here on in, I'm not...
That sounds like me and Tara Jr., right? No, Tara Jr., no.
Not coming back. You blew it. Next year will be 7 years of doing disclosure for you. Fuck you.
Wow. She's not kidding.
And fuck all you orbs. Get the fuck out of my house. I seriously mean it. Get out.
There's orbs there, she says. This poor bitch, really. I kind of feel bad for her, even though, I mean, oh well. Where's her family? Shouldn't they? I mean, maybe they're all a bunch of kooks, too. They should stage an intervention. But, and she is in Canada, so she can get some health care. It's incredible. Fuck you. Fuck all you orbs. If I ever start talking like that, someone needs to help. That's a cry for help. Right? And I like the way he puts it in this article, Brandon Gage. He says, Q, at its core, is an intellectual black hole that feasts on the vulnerable minds of its subscribers. Right. That's what I've been saying all along, too. The Republican Party. That's the Republican Party. They have no morals. They have no ethics. Just greed, self-serving, self-dealing, feathering their own nests. Greed. It's incredible. And all of these transcripts for the January 6th hearings are another window into that black hole that the Republicans have. They have no integrity. Zero. They lie. They lie to the faces of people like this woman. And then they go under oath and they have brain farts. Right? I mean, what else do we do? What's the solution to this? It is really to vilify them, to publicly shame them, to reclaim patriotism for the actual patriots without apology. These people need to be crushed legally and peacefully without apology. And, that's what we have to do. It's going to take some time, though, because for the next 2 years, we will be in the Republican clown show. Yeah, she's nuts. Terry Taylor on the chat. Look at her eyes. She's not. Now, you're not talking about me, are you? I'm just kidding. Look at her eyes. They have dead eyes, crazy eyes. They're just sick. And the poor woman is sick. She is. Fuck you, Q. Look at these orbs. Get out of here, orbs. I don't care what you do, Q. I'm not coming back. That's what it's like. According to her, the light, I guess, is that was caught on catching the dust or whatever. Those are orbs that Q was sending in order to control her mind and make her come back to Q. Incredible. Anyway, I just realized that Facebook didn't connect. Oh well. Fucking, it's so annoying. Facebook didn't stream. Every time I have to connect the stream again and again. Anyway, all right, well, I'm looking at the reason I'm just whatever, because the show is basically over. We only have 2 minutes. And in those 2 minutes, I want to thank you all for hanging out, for being with me another year, for your patronage, for your super chats, for your friendship. I should have put friendship first. For you, for meeting new friends, and for, Feta didn't stream. It does this all the time. It's new. I don't know. They changed everything. So even though I use persistent stream, every week I have to reconnect it, and now this week it didn't stream. I don't know why. And it's too late to figure it out. So it's annoying. It's annoying. It's annoying. All right, and there's the music. Listen, Become a patron if you can at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Share the show with your friends. Give the show a good review on iTunes. I'm telling you, this is what's going to help us, especially sharing the show and inviting friends to the chat on Friday nights. And thank you, Lori, for becoming a patron tonight. We will win. Remember, support our sponsors like APS Radio News. We're on the right side of history. We are on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. We stick together. We win. I thank you so much, guys. I will see you in 2023. My name is Tara Devlin. I will see you soon. All right. Guys, I love you. I love you. Look at him. Oh, yes? What'd you say? You want to come back? Get over here. You want to come back? Oh, you sound grumpy. You sound grumpy. Oopsie. Sit down. You want to come back? You want to come back? Sit. All right. Listen. That's it. I don't like that view of me, but the cat's cute. You gotta come back. You gotta come back. Ow. All right. That's it. Good night. Listen up, guys. Listen. I don't know what day we'll have a show. We will have a show this week, probably Wednesday? I don't know. We have to see how it goes. Shit. Why did I bring him back? Why? It was too tempting, him sitting there. And thank you, Paradu. Paradu says, we love you, Tara. Thank you for getting us through 2022. You got me through 2022. Thank you, Paradu. And Trucker John. And thank you, Haiku, for your everything. For always being by my side. And for taking the time to be a moderator. You know, that takes work. And I recognize that. It's not always easy. Thank you so much. And thank you, Eve and Terry Taylor and Errol and Trucker John. Guys, you got to subscribe to Trucker John's show. Do it now. If Trucker puts it in the link there in the chat. And thank you, Commander Bond and Pookie's mommy and Eve. I said Eve. It doesn't matter. We can say many times. And Robin. And SS 1964. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Who else did I miss? I feel Sage. Nice to see you, Sage. Nice to see you. Robin, nice to see you. Luther and Mark C, nice to see you, my friend. And Jim, of course, yes. And Ed. All right, guys, I got to get the show ready for Progressive Voices so I can go get unconscious. And I will. I'll see you in the new year, guys. I love you. I love you. All right. I hope you enjoyed our shows this year. There'll be more. And well, it'll be different because the Republicans will be in the majority and it's going to suck. So we will really need each other. That's for sure. So thank you so much for your support. And I will see you in 2023.